main questions are how to overcome the deteriorating economic outlook, the debt crisis, and financial market volatility in order to restore growth and create jobs. Since the summer, the pace of world growth has been slowing. The public debt crisis in the Eurozone is one factor in this. I will say a few words about that later on. However, in every crisis, there is also an opportunity. I have been told that the Chinese word Wei Yi for crisis even contains two syllables, one for danger and the other for opportunity. I say one has told. At this EU-China Business Summit, the question must thus be, what are our shared opportunities to overcome the crisis? As regards the global level, China and the European Union have a common interest to send a strong signal of unity, implementing the action plan for growth and delivering on the G20 Cannes Summit conclusions. We have to work together to make the upcoming G20 summit in Mexico a success. As regards our internal situations, we are both China and the Union in the midst of ambitious reforms with important steps for the future economies. The challenges we face are in many respects similar, for instance in achieving a sustainable and green growth and facing an aging population. Both Europe and China are weathering the financial and economic crisis with determination. Even if China is not directly in the cyclone's eye, developments in Europe matter for it and could impact on it. Let me therefore now turn to the European Union's growth and investment agenda and to the public debt crisis, starting with the latter. The excessive debt levels of some European countries has been the source of much preoccupation and action over the last 2 years, and in particular the implications for our common currency, the euro. Let me first say that the macroeconomic fundamentals in the Eurozone are sound. The euro remains a solid currency trusted by investors all around the world. Overall, the Eurozone enjoys a balanced current account and a level of public debt far below those of, for instance, the United States or Japan. The very existence of the euro avoided competitive devaluations and currency market turmoil inside Europe when the crisis hit us in 2008. But the internal macroeconomic imbalances within the Eurozone need to be addressed in order to guarantee financial stability and to ensure sustainable growth. We have had to address this both in the short-term dimension and its longer-term dimension. The short term has involved tough corrective measures in the countries under threat or under market pressure. At the same time, the countries most under pressure have been supported by loans from their fellow Eurozone countries. We have set up new instruments to do so. The European Financial Stability Facility and the European Stability Mechanism, which will be a permanent crisis mechanism. We have launched a process of recapitalization of the EU banks to raise confidence. And at the same time, the European Central Bank has also intervened mainly by providing ample liquidity to the banking sector. The first results of these actions are visible in the financial markets. Spreads for a lot of countries have decreased dramatically. At the same time, we have not ignored the long term. It is important to reassure everyone that the short-term measures are not just short-term band-aid. That is why we have introduced reforms on our economic governance, which include changes to our treaties, bringing in a debt brake or balanced budget rule for all Eurozone members. This will reinforce responsibility and compliance, but it also represents an important step forward towards greater fiscal and economic integration in the Eurozone, making our monetary union even more irreversible. Investors in Europe can be reassured that we have not just navigated a difficult bend, we have turned a corner, and we welcome today the readiness of China to cooperate with the Union in order to assure the financial stability of the Eurozone. My second point is that we recognize that financial stability is a necessary but not a sufficient condition for economic recovery. We must do more, in particular on economic growth and employment, issues that were at the forefront of our European Council by the end of last month. We focused on growth-friendly fiscal consolidation and job-friendly economic growth. And that means slashing deficits, but not by cutting our investments for the future. Investments in education